It was late in 1960 when my older brothers, introduced me to WDGY AM radio. It came out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, a great station for rock music. And then at night, when some of the stations had to power down a bit, I was introduced to WLS AM radio out of Chicago. Again, great rock and roll music. And back then, there was a group called The Byrds, Byrds, and one of their songs stuck with me. I didn't know where it came from, but the lyrics were tremendous. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a reason, turn, 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 and a purpose to every matter under heaven. And then it continued on. That was the chorus. And now, as I'm in my late 60s, that wisdom, the wisdom of those lyrics, which actually came from wisdom literature, still play a significant part in my life as I'm in some times of transition. I know you may say, aren't we all? Well, we are, but some transitions are more significant than others. That wisdom literature, which was the basis for the Byrds' hit Turn, 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 is actually Hebrew wisdom literature found in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, and I read from the New Revised Standard Version. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to throw away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. I found this wisdom in the Hebrew scripture when I was in college. Up to that point, it was just good lyrics from a good song, and it continues to impact my life. So there's a time for every matter under heaven. As you can see in front of me, a couple decorations for the winter season. Pretty easy to define what season it is up here in the Great Plains. But external seasons are a lot different than the internal ones. A couple of weeks ago, I marked the 67th orbit I've had around the sun. And I've been in a bit of pondering and puzzlement and perplexity as I try to think about when do I really, so to speak, quit doing what I'm doing. I'm a part-time pastor. I do some other side hustle sort of things, but there's a lot of external things going on in my life, those which I don't control, which I wonder, do they need to get more attention? Do I need to be more responsive to those? When is it time to fully, if you wish to say, retire. And yet I want to be active, and yet I want to be creative. And so there isn't, so to speak, an easy season. As the wisdom of Ecclesiastes kind of says, it's one or the other. Or, here's two vases or two pitchers. And so the choices are right there. One of the choices that I think I've come to realize, if you're going to say there's a time for every matter, there's a time for clarity and there's a time for perplexity. And as much as I don't like it, I'm in that period of perplexity. Do I have to figure it out right now? Or can I embrace the, if you want to say, the confusion and the perplexity, and just see what it's trying to tell me about my life and my reaction and what I think is important in life? And in time, that matter will change as well, not because of my forcing it to happen, but because it will happen on its own, just like the seasons here in the Great Plains. It will change not because I'm tired of winter, but because it will, on its own, change. So my reactions, I'm not quite sure yet. I want to sort a few more things out. There's no easy decision. There's no quick decision. Nobody's taking a vote. That's why those wisdom, whether it be from the 1965 song Turn, Turn, Turn by the Byrds, whether it be discovering Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, while I was in college, I've had various times in my life that I need to be sorting things out and living in the midst of perplexity, and this is one of them. To everything there is a season and a time for every matter. Right now is my time to be perplexed, to embrace the changes and the questions, and to rely upon what has happened in the past, that there will be a new season. Thank you for watching once again in my first video of 2022.